So here I just got one of those 1 pound bags of beans. I'm gonna start with the black beans and use, just wash them. Get out any rocks. I normally take out the split ones as well. Get them all washed up. Ready to be canned. So you take about a half a cup beans and stick it in the jars. These are the dried beans that we washed and picked out any impurities on. It's not going to look like much in the jar. I mean, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but they're going to expand when you cook. And then if you want, you can add salt. You don't have to. They say about a half a teaspoon. I don't use a lot of salt. Normally I don't use any salt. You can use water, you can use chicken broth. You're just gonna fill those up. Leave about a 1-inch headspace. I don't have my spacer right now to tell me how much. It looks like 1 pound of beans will do 6 pints. Now I'm just gonna take paper towel with, you can either use warm water or white vinegar. I just use white vinegar. With dairy, you do not want to use vinegar because then it'll curdle it. And then you just put your caps on and your rings. And then we put those on. I am using a couple of old lids to see how they do. I reuse lids when they still have a decent seal and band. When putting your lids on and your bands, just make sure you do just finger tight. You don't want to crank on it because then you're going to get a lot of them to buckle. This one is an old pickle jar with a lug lid. I'm going to use that. Going to fill your canner with 3 quarts of water. I'm doing cold canner, cold water, cold beans. With cold water in the beans. And then I like to add a little bit of vinegar so that your jars don't get so cloudy outside. Put your jars in. Once you got them in the canner, you're also going to want to check in your canner. Make sure you can see through, all the way through that hole, to make sure that your vent isn't clogged. And then it's been a while, so I'm going to re-grease my outside of my All-American. And you're just going to rub a little bit of grease on there. You don't need a whole lot. This will help prevent the lid from getting stuck. And then you want to make sure the arrow is going to a little notch in the canner there. Then go on opposite sides. Screw it down. And check and make sure that it's pretty even on both sides. You these gaps. It looks pretty even. Then I'm just going to turn the stove on to high for the moment until it gets up to pressure. So now that I'm getting a steady stream of steam through, saying that it is venting well, I am going to set a timer for 10 minutes and let that vent so that the pressure can build up in the canner. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. I'm going to set a 10-pound weight on it. So I'm going to want it to get to 10 pounds for my area. I'm going to move the temp down to medium. That's how my stove normally works, to get it to jiggle, and we will be back when it starts to jiggle. We have started jiggling. Now we're going to set a timer for 75 minutes. And in 75 minutes, we will just shut the heat off and let everything cool down. Right about 10 pounds of pressure. When we shut the heat off, we will not take this off yet. We will wait till it fully comes down to 0 over here before we will take the weight off. Everything is down to 0 now. Take this, take that off. And now we're just gonna open it up. I did hear a weird noise, so I'm not gonna be surprised if one cracked, broke, flew open. Let the steam out a little bit. Everything looks good so far. Just take them out, and I'm going to put them on a cloth or a towel just right next, and I will let it sit overnight. When your jars are all cooled, you'll just take these off and make sure that they have all sealed. Then clean them up and put them in your pantry.